So the market has gone up, and maybe it might be the time to start taking a little bit off the table if you've got some significant gains. Why? Because to take profit is always good to grow the account. Let's look at the screen though, right? Just doing a little bit of research recently, and I thought this video is quite a good one to talk about it. Everyone's getting very, very bullish. A lot of the influencers, a few accounts are not. You can see top left, bit of a warning sign from Cheeky Crypto, which is good. But the reality is a lot of coins are also talking about shopping lists and talking about 5 best altcoins to buy in this bull cycle, or whatever they're describing it as. I've got a little problem with that in terms of the higher time frames, which is what we're going to look at overall in the course of this video. So don't bite me, don't hurt me, don't whinge and moan, but I'm on the weekly time frame here. We're going to go on the weekly. These could take a lot longer to play out, but I'm going to show you some really, really big alarm bells that may well help you make some more money. But let's look a bit more at some other videos, what is going on. And a lot of people are starting to get a little bit of FOMO kicking in. They're starting to get people talking about certain buzzy words. And the reality is, I don't think we've really made much of a dent, and I'm not that massively excited. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at the weekly time frames, you can kind of see where we are with structure. You can see where we are, and history tells us what happens. Bear market rallies happen. The last one in the last bull market caught me off guard so many times because I would just buy into the sharp point and I'd lose out, and it wasn't great for my morale. It wasn't great for my fundage. It was horrible, and you can just see it. Everyone is starting to get very, very excited. So yeah, we all know how reverse psychology this market works. Yeah, cool, right? Let's talk about it, right? So target level, that big area here, I've put out as a big point of, you've probably seen it already in my videos, a potential area where we can go. Levels of structure in and around this region kind of looks like a good place where we could get a level of resistance for a lot of things, and also where it's kind of obvious to think, you know what, if you've been riding this wave, look at it and take profit, right? Let's look at the candles though, right? We have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish candles, right? Now, let's just talk about it. Let's remove this fib and let's just talk about this in a simple way, right? A lot of people will be saying, yeah, we can go much higher, obviously, but we can also drop, obviously. The market doesn't work in certainties. It works with an unkind of written language of what could happen next. And it's all about risk management, okay? Now, if you are looking to buy into this market with genuine capital from your own fundage, from your bank, at this point, you've probably missed the boat by a good couple of weeks. There is always opportunity to make money, and you can see that in any market, right? Whether you're going long, whether you're going short, it doesn't really matter. I talk about this a lot on my Patreon, right? I have a rule in my life is I don't care about the direction, I care about where momentum is taking it, right? That is simple. But I'm going to say one thing and one thing only. We are only just above the EMA 8 on the weekly time frame. We're not above the EMA 21. We are not even creating a higher low yet on the weekly time frame, which is kind of the thing. Now, if I am to get into this market, right, and be really a lot more confident in getting in the market, I would wait for a pullback of this structure. You know, we will pull back. There will be some, in my case, blue candles, in your case, potentially red candles, and we will progressively pull back. If we do get, let's just say, a level of demand, this is why I want to talk about it, you know, in between this region here, oopsie, or even there to be fair, and it holds up, let's just say we do go back into this region, maybe not that low, but let's just say in between there, and we start getting levels of demand where it does physically hold, you're probably going to notice a lot of demand and a lot of interest, but that is a much safer entry than, say, Ape and Now. Let me explain why that is important, because when you look at the likes of Bitcoin, we are at historic levels of resistance, right? Looking good. Yeah, everyone's getting excited. But we've had 1, 2, well, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels where we've been trying to penetrate this area. This 24,700 level, give or take, around that region. We're not broken 25k yet on Bitcoin, right? We all know what moves the market, Bitcoin. It's interesting, right? Why is that important? Because we need it to go up. If this breaks above here and we fully break it, we are going to go hurtling towards this level here. Simple as that, right? The perfect profit taking place for it, Bitcoin. However, your altcoins are already up massive amounts. What if this fails? Well, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table, and that's not good, right? That isn't good. So just need to be careful with that. So get me words out. We may pull back further to get more liquidity to then try and go up, right? I think there'll be a lot of selling pressure around here because I think a lot of people are like, I'm not trusting this. And again, look at the weekly time frame. This is what we're looking at. You know, makes you laugh how people are very, very excited. We have not formed a level of a higher low. We need a higher low. Simple as that, right? We really do. Anyways, BNB, one of the strongest looking assets at the moment, one of the best performers in my opinion, doing incredibly well. But again, look at all these candles, boom. If this pulls back, it's going to hurt, right? It's going to hurt, especially if you've been buying these tops, right? So just be careful. But again, we could also go up to this level here. Much stronger levels of resistance, right? You got to think, this is still a bear market structure. We have formed the high, we formed the low, lower high, new low. This could easily be a new lower high. So on the higher time frames, at that longer term zoom out picture, that is where you got to look at certain situations. This is why taking a little bit off the table, and I will explain that in a second in more detail. Let's look at Ethereum. Again, looking relatively strong, not as strong as it has been. You know, had a bit of a falter versus obviously BNB, but it has been pretty strong. The dominance has gone up. The dominance of BTC has also dropped as well, which is a big telling sign. But again, look at where we are. We're at levels of historic rejection, support. This is where we are right now, right? Again, if we do fly up, hurtle up, we could go as much as 2,500. But again, look at the structure. High, low, lower high, lower low. Where are we going to go? There's still a long way to go, obviously, but you need to get in at the right time. If you do get in on an obvious, genuine pullback, and let's just say, for example, Ethereum revisits, let's just say for an example here, Ethereum does revisit stuff like this, you may well find that that is a much safer entry, much better entry, and the one where you can get multiples. Yes, patience is a game. Yes, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. One of those things, right? You've got to play the game of probability. Otherwise, you get wrecked. So let's talk about the obvious, right? The trend is your friend. We're only above the EMA 8 on pretty much everything. We're not above the EMA 21. Looking at the bull market cycle, this is what it was. I personally think we are not going to fly up. Personally, this is my opinion. We're not going to fly up and keep going and do a new all-time high on any asset until we physically see better structure. To see better structure, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be a pullback, right? Regardless of whatever happens. So we're not going to go up to here overnight. We will more than likely at some point pull back. That'll be the pullback will hurt. It will hurt, but it'll also be beneficial for the likes of myself, for the likes of others that are waiting for something like this to put a lot more capital in something that is actually genuinely valid, which could give us that point of where it could go much higher. However, it has to hold. It has to happen, because the caveat to all this is, and I'm going to explain it on the Ethereum chart, is what if we don't? Right? If we do not do that, what if we go to this level here and this is the genuine end of the rally, right? It could be the thing. What about if we do just melt and we just carry on going and we do form new lows and we go into this region? I'm playing devil's advocate, but that is a genuine possibility. We are in a downtrend on the higher time frames. We've got to look at that. There's opportunity to make money, obviously, but we've got to look at certain situations. This is why I say 2,500 is definitely a possibility. But again, we don't know. They will potentially go much higher in the future. We just don't know, right? However, the market will always pull back. So, taking profits, what do I mean? Take a little bit off the table. If you've bought Ethereum at $1,000, right, let's just say, and you have not taken, or even whatever level, if you're up 65%, you have beaten the average of pretty much most people in the market, and you have done well. Taking 10% off the table right now is not a bad thing. Taking 20% off, not a bad thing. Taking 50% off, not a bad thing. The game is always to be in the market. Not worry about the trend, not worry about the direction it's going, as long as you are following momentum, right? Keep it simple. However, people get it wrong. What do I mean by that is they buy at the peaks and they sell at the bottoms. Flip that mentality, you'll be alright. This is why accumulating assets at the lows is good. This is why trying to buy low, sell high and rebuy back low and get units is also very, very good. But buying this and being married to your bag, for example, and trying to prove yourself right that this is the best asset, or saying certain things to try and flare up a bit of FOMO, is not the greatest thing to do it, because that will get the ultimate majority of people burnt. As much as the market does that, you don't want to kind of encourage that at the same time, especially if you are thinking, I want to buy this because it's going to go up to like 2,500. Yes, in the short term, or you might be right for a little bit, but in the long term, there's a high risk that you are going to have drawdown, and no one wants that because you always feel a bit negative. Let's just show you an example of drawdown. If you don't know this, say if you buy right now at this near $2,000, and let's just say we do a genuine pullback and we drop down by 25, 28%, whatever it may be, that's a lot of money to have in the red when you are supposed to be making money because certain people have said it's going to go up. But the reality is everyone's going to counter that argument by saying, well, if you just had diamond hands and hold on forever, and yes, if we carry on melting down to like these levels down here, cool, but reality is Ethereum's a top asset, or is it? I don't know. We'll see. But people will always use the argument, well, if you just held on, it'd be fine. But you want to have fair value. You want to get as much unit as you possibly can at the right price that you're comfortable with. Wait for a pullback. If you're in this market right now, take something off the table. Just a little bit. Reaccumulate it. It'll be fine.